discontinued. It's got this cool bevel, so it's one piece on both sides. Maybe I'm considering breeding as well, because she's been for 2 years holding that pattern. Explosion of plants, which is, you know, not a bad problem to have. Hello and welcome back to Creative Pet Keeping. My name is Kasha, I am your host, and today I'm going to take you on a little adventure to take a closer look at all of my fish tanks. Now, I have not done any of the maintenance on them just yet, so I haven't done any water changes, I haven't scraped any algae off the glass, I haven't cleaned any of the water stains on the glass either, and I haven't serviced my filters and tidied things up. So I thought it'd be kind of cool to show you what all of my tanks look like before I service them and take care of everybody. So let's go on an adventure and take a look at everybody. So we're going to start with this little plant corner. Now this tank is a 4-gallon. I always forget and sometimes say it's a 5-gallon, but surprisingly it's only 4 gallons, even though it looks a lot bigger. Unfortunately, this tank is discontinued. It's got this cool bevel, so it's one piece on both sides that's been bent right here, so it's got these round edges, and then it's glued in the back. So that makes it pretty cool and unique. But unfortunately, you can't really buy this anymore. You can watch the video of me scaping this tank if you would like. It's got some lovely ember tetras inside and some shrimp. And now, currently, one baby mahachai in here. So it's a Bahachiensis wild betta that I still had left over from here. I thought I pulled all of them, but there was one sneaky baby that I just put in here. It's kind of going to grow out here. This is where I had my Bahachiensis colony growing, and I ended up selling all of them. And currently we just have one betta male in here. He is the male from the unicorn bucket spawn. So you're going to see a lot of the bucket spawn babies here, because I've held back and kept a lot of them just so I can see how they grow up and observe how they progress. I have also some cool plants out here that are growing kind of immersed in the water, which kind of creates this kind of cool look, I think. I got a new baby plant that I'm just keeping here because it seems to like the light over here. It is a Peacock Calathea. I don't know. I'm still kind of a newbie with plants, but it seems to be really happy right in this spot. And it's a very lightweight plant because it's still in his little baby pot, so it can actually sit up here and it's totally fine. So I've been keeping it right here, and I don't know what I want to do with this tank just yet. I want to kind of keep the jungle look, but maybe rescape it again and maybe add some different fish in here. I know that I can't keep anything with this guy. He's gonna have to get jarred or put in his own individual tank because he is a murder fish. He's tried to go after anything I've tried to put in here. He's super aggressive and a great example of sometimes bettas don't do well with anybody and need to live alone, and he is a good example of that. He's a little bad boy, but it's okay. I love him, and I will get him a nice little home, so he'll be a happy boy. So then moving over here, this is my closet that I keep a lot of stuff in here. I guess we'll start at the top. So up here we have some more of the jarred bettas from the same spawn. They're doing super well. These jars are cycled. They got lots of plants in them. So they've been growing out and I've been observing them. I might maybe sell a few more, but I'm not sure. Next month is going to actually be their 2-year birthday. So they're all going to be 2 years old very, very soon, which is kind of exciting. I am also working on a video for this guy right here, who is my little senior betta, who also has some tumors. This is his kind of very chill retirement setup. And I want to make an in-depth video explaining how, you know, when fish suffer from things such as tumors, which, you know, are mostly out of your control, what are some ways to keep your fish happy and healthy based on the condition that they are in. Down here we have the 20-gallon long for profit tank where I'm breeding shrimp and plecos and guppies, and I have a video on that one as well. And next to it is my Tancho koi male, who's also from the same spawn. So he has that beautiful red on his face that makes him the Tancho pattern. It has spread a little bit, but not too bad. And I do have a female to go with him that maybe I'm considering breeding as well, because she's been for 2 years holding that pattern, which is kind of impressive, which I really like. So that is how things are going over here. Down over here we have the Lampalagus ocellatus gold. We have a reverse trio. So here is my big male, female, and then my other male decided he has a super secret spot over there. So he's hanging out over there. Oh, he's gonna come out. He's gonna come out because I mentioned him. He's like, hey girl, I know you're talking about me. Hold on. Let me come over here. I will be on camera. He's back there. But they're always ready to eat. Look at them. It's crazy the size difference because the female is so small and the male is ginormous. And then here we have some babies that are growing out. But I packed it so full of plants that you can't really see the babies very well. But this is a little hang on back box that pulls water from the tank. It comes over here and then it comes out the other end. So I'm using the same water as their home fish tank to grow out the babies. Down here is a weird situation. My Maltese, first of all, decided to pull all my plants out, which is kind of normal for Maltese to do. They rearrange. So in terms of aquascaping, that's not really existing here at all. And I might pull the jungle vel out and move it somewhere else. These guys are also diggers, but as you can see, they don't pull their plants out, but these guys do. I was actually supposed to sell all of them the past GCCA swap, but I wasn't able to catch all of them. So now I'm in the predicament of, do I just spruce up this tank and then decide to keep the remaining Maltese because they're happy, they're breeding in here. Clearly they don't seem to want to leave. Or do I rehome them at the next swap and then open this tank up to either put the blue ocellatus in here to spawn or another fish species? I don't really know. But this is one of those tanks that doesn't look super duper cool, but it's okay. You know, it works for the fish. Visually, not that pleasing for anybody else, I guess. Then over here, we'll kind of go through things pretty quickly. So here we have the blue ocellatus. I have a video on those guys as well. They're all doing really well. I haven't bred them yet, but they're ready to breed. They're already showing, they're changing their colors when they get in their like breeding stripes almost. They get super excited. They're ready to go. So I want to produce some more blue ocellatus. Then we have the Julidochromis regani pair. The male is right here. The big female is right there. She's the big mama. And then she's got some babies, some young ones that I gotta pull from this breeding setup. This is a breeding setup of a pair. So they are like a bonded pair. And they produce babies for me once in a while when they like each other. Sometimes they like each other, sometimes they don't. It's a very complicated relationship that these two have. And this could be like a whole telenovela in itself. Over here, we have the Julidochromis dickfieldi, and they're all kind of hanging out in the back because I fed them and they could care less about my existence. They'll come out again when it's time to be fed. So they're growing out. This is a temporary grow out tank for them because they're young and I want to breed them. So that's what that looks like. Then we have the Brevis babies. If you saw my Brevis video, they're super cool shell-dwelling fish, and that is actually all of their babies. I ended up selling the Brevis spawn at the last swap. Not the spawn, but I sold the Brevis colony. There we go. So all of the breeding males and females, but I still have their babies, and I'm growing them out. Here are some more babies I'm growing out. These I got at the Greater Chicago Cichlid Association. They're Nanacara, and I'm trying them again, and they're kind of growing out in here. So these are my two like 5-gallon baby grow out tanks. I also use them for betta breeding, so I like to rotate my tanks and utilize them for a variety of different projects. Over here we have the female Batasari tank, which had an explosion of plants, which is, you know, not a bad problem to have, I guess. And it turns out that 3 of them are males. So there's 3 males that are brothers in here, and the rest are females. One easy one to spot right away is this one right here. He's got a little black on his dorsal. That's a male. And they have not been fighting at all. They have not been trying to breed. So at the moment, I'm letting them stay together. But as soon as there's any aggression and issues, I will pull these males. I'm just keeping them in here for observation purposes. Overall, this tank has been kind of like a big experiment for me to observe and see how sibling sorority setups work over time, how keeping a spawn that is growing out together that are all siblings over time, how that changes and progresses. Something I noticed is that they will pick on fish that are different colors. So because this is a predominantly cellophane, and cellophane means lacking pigment, so a lot of these white colored fish will pick on the red colored fish. So that leads me to theorize that maybe the color of your females in your sorority matters in terms of aggression, but it's still, you know, a theory. Over here we have my community tank. This is probably one of my favorite tanks, with one of my favorite betas that I got from MB Betas. He finally has a website and he's selling his betas online, so you can check out MB Betas. So if you want to get a cool fish like I did from him, he has a really good selection of fish and I really like all of them. So this tank, as you can see, there's a lot of algae on the glass. I gotta scrape all of it, clean the algae. The same situation goes for the Oscillators tank. I have to clean the algae off the glass as well. But that one can be a video in itself, because I can show you what I have to do to try to avoid getting bitten by these guys. And if you do want to see someone get bitten, I do have a video of Daniel getting bitten, and I will link that video as well, because it's kind of a funny video. Daniel was my poor sacrifice for the making of the video, but it had to be done. It had to be done. Over here is another example of a tank that is in progress. It's a 10-gallon. It's just currently just existing. We have another male that is from the same spawn. So this is the brother of all of these, which are all related to all of these, except that one, which are all related to that one. So it's like I have the whole family here, and I'm keeping them in different tanks and sort of seeing what happens. But he's in here temporarily. There's also some shrimp in here and baby endlers, and there's like one female endler. I want to set something else up in this tank. I don't know what I want to do here. So this is like a in progress. I kind of just left it alone, and I'm just maintaining it and letting it grow wild while I figure that out. Then over here, I'm breeding these guys. I believe they're called like Cremensis Pulcher, I think, off the top of my head. This is the big mama. She's right here. I didn't light this tank fully because they do kind of like it a little darker, I noticed. I have some baby plecos that are growing out in here. These are all the babies. They're so cute. And daddy is in here somewhere as well. So I'll be selling these guys probably at the next GCCA swap. And then over here, this is where the Brevis used to be, so the sunspot Brevis. And currently, I'm just keeping plants in here. This is just a plant holding tank for now with some shrimpies. A breeding colony of Chelinachromas. They're all staring at me because they always want food. And the big mistake I made in this tank is I used black sand because you can never see any of the babies against the black sand, but they have been breeding. It's a breeding colony, kind of a weird breeding tank. Visually, not that interesting to look at, but does it work really well for them to breed? Yes, so it works for them, but it's not like a cool tank to take a look at. And then over here, we have my Pulsitochromis, which always act like they've never eaten anything in their life. Oh, excuse me. Just a little burp. And then over here, I'm planting some plants. I'm working on my balcony garden. I'm growing some stuff from seeds, or at least attempting to. I've never done that before, so it's my little attempt. Still working on it. I do have some videos on my balcony garden. If you would like to check those out, definitely do so. They're kind of fun. It's more so from the perspective of a beginner figuring things out. So that's something I have working right here. See, I have my seeds right here. Everything I've been working on. So overall, that's what my fish room looks like. I need to do water changes and so many things, but I wanted to show you what things look like in between all the maintenance on a bright sunny day. It's a really pretty day, and it's a good day to work in the fish room and get some stuff done. Ooh, I can wave in my reflection. Bye!